Hello? Okay, can anybody hear me? Is anybody here? Let's see if this is working. As usual. Not many people show up, but I'm wondering if anybody shows up. Just letting Snowy know. Hey, you're here. Let's put on, goth myself up. Okay, maybe Lou will show up and another person. Their name is very, very long. And oh, 3 people. Who's the other person? I'll say hi to you, whoever it is. See 2, 3. I don't know. Well, anyways, I can't tell unless they say something in the chat. So I have some ideas, and my brain likes to work at 5,000 times the speed of what it should, and it's all over the place. And I was thinking, why is it that I had this nagging thought about what I should do with my channel? Why isn't it that it's showing what about the mental health stuff? Oh yeah, I'm not doing it in the way that would work because my brain is not, like you said, Snowy, it goes from A to B to C and then randomly X, and then we'll go to, let's say, H, and then back to X, and then let's go to, and then you mentioned in the comment, then it's time to wash your coochie. Even though I think you said you're a he, but I'm just probably gonna say she just because as long as you don't mind, I'll probably keep doing it just because I got used to it. Because my brain just decides to do these things. Let me know in the chat if it bothers you, because I will be respectful, but if it doesn't bother you, then oh well. Yeah, you said that I asked you why you liked me. I asked you why you liked me, and you were like, why you liked watching my videos, and you said, well, I watch your videos because it'll be like I go from A to B to C, and then suddenly I'm being told to wash my coochie, or something like that. You said that word because that was something I said in a video, so you were quoting me. But see that whole like you doesn't sound like something you'd say. That is literally my entire life. I don't know what I would say because I have no frame of reference for anything. Yeah. Oh, you remember. Okay. So, my idea was I was watching Emily Baker, I think, who is a lawyer who's like following all this Tati stuff, and she just like is getting a lot more um became much more popular, but she had a podcast, and then she would do a podcast and then an after party. I was like, oh, that works, and that seems cool. So I'm not gonna credit to where credit is due. It's important. So this wasn't my idea necessarily, but I have been thinking of making a podcast, but I have no idea how those work. And I make YouTube videos, and I wanted to show what it's like to be autistic in everyday things. So I was like, why don't I just make a podcast where I can just be random and say whatever the fuck I want? But then those are the videos where I can like go back, recheck them, and make sure that that it's okay and I didn't say anything really shitty because my brain just didn't like glitched for a second, and it'll show like, oh, so that's what it's like to live with this when you have a constant assault of the sensory overload. And then I can just do lives because lives seem to be what people like. I have a channel with like 35 subscribers, but I made the video that I made on Katie Martin and Eugenie Cootie got like within a couple days over 100 views, and that is like statistically that's a big difference. And I was like, okay, lives seem to be good. And I was like, why? And I was like, that's because what I'm good at. I'm good at rambling and talking a mile a minute and making no sense, but people seem to think it's entertaining and making sense, and they seem to figure out what I'm saying when I have no idea what I'm saying. Snowy says, "Yeah, I noticed how many views that video has." Yeah, I was like, "Great, thank you so much." But that I only had one other video that did that, which was a watch me fail, and that was another one where I was just going ape shit and crazy, and it was edited, and I thought it was because it was edited, and then I realized no, it was just when I was just doing the me thing. And my thing that I want to stick to is that I'm very unapologetically me. It's like I'm shit, okay? I can be a shitty person. I have psychopathic, sociopathic tendencies. I do not claim to be a nice person. So I'm just going to say right off the bat, I'm shit. You either like this and find it entertaining and educational because, oh, wait, somebody, Lou, you're here. Lou says, I think your least focused ones are the most popular. Yeah, I noticed that too. My least focused ones are the most popular, probably because people can see when you're not being the most like yourself. And when I'm not like when I'm trying really hard to focus myself, I just don't do well. And when you're doing something and it's making you happy, like when I postpone or cancel my lives, I keep getting you guys saying like it's okay because we'd rather have that. And I noticed that. And I don't get how other people aren't catching on to the fact that subscribers are there because they want to see the person be them. And that's why they liked it before and they're always like, do your original content. But people change. So I give a disclaimer of I have no idea what it's going to be like. You either like me or don't like me. And if you get bored, leave, just whatever. And I'm going to be all over the place. So I think it's good. Lou, did you catch the beginning part when I was saying that I had an idea of doing a podcast and then a thing after that where I would just do a rambling type of live, kind of like this, when it's like my ADHD meds are kicking in but not kicking in because it is crazy when what it's like being in my head. And I want to show people how being autistic, especially when you seem verbal, it doesn't take away from that. People look at it and they're like, oh, you're high functioning. That means you must not have as much pain as the other people have. I was watching House, and one of the characters was explaining how, wait, Lou says, it sounds like a cool idea. Thank you. I think it's a good idea too, and I'm glad you guys like it. Oh, before that, you said, yeah, the podcast and after party thing. Okay, so you did catch that. Great. And credit goes where credit's due. That's not my idea. So I don't think I'll like call it an after party thing. It's just gonna be the podcast part and then autistic ramblings. And I figured out a title for that, which wait, I'm gonna go back to the other thing. I was talking about House. I'm rewatching House, which is something I watched when I was younger. And if you watch House, it is so very uncanny how much I seem to be like House. Yeah, it is a great fucking show. I love that show. And I watched it when I was 14, and I think when you're autistic, you seem to you mimic a lot of things. And that's kind of how you learn. You're just like, okay, people want me to do this, so let's like mimic that. But I think it was at a point in my life when I was really developing. Yeah, it never is lupus. It's never lupus. It was when I was developing, and I was basically that's a lot of my personality. And I do want to stress the fact that I am the case of where the stupid stereotype of where autistic people are not empathetic. I just happen to be an autistic person that's very unempathetic, but autistic people are very empathetic. But in the show, Foreman was saying said that there was a episode with an autistic kid, and Foreman was saying, yeah, there's a sensory overload thing where everything is basically an assault on their senses. I'm just paraphrasing it. I'd scream too, and that's exactly it. If you notice autistic people scream all the time, it's because there's so much going on. And I get very sick of the fact that it's like if you see this, imagine living with this, imagine watching a live of me doing this 24/7. Like you just can't get rid of it. It's just going on in your ears. Somebody said you're gonna die unless you wear earpods with me going on all the time. I'm not gonna be offended if you tell me that it would drive you crazy because it drives me crazy. I'm waiting until the day that I go insane. I told my friend that, and then they said like they made a joke, and they were quiet. This was Bleach, by the way. we started talking again, and I want them to be like include because it would be pretty funny for us to be like, yes, let's just talk about what happened. And what was I saying? Yes, back to that. And then she was quiet for a second, and I was like, no, tell me what you're saying. And she was like, well, can you go insane if can you go insane if you can't really go insane if you already are? And I was like, I'm gonna hang on to that because that's gonna at least help me focus on that. Hey, maybe I'm not actually going completely insane because I already am, so I don't have to worry about it. I'm just waiting until I have to be institutionalized, basically. And just genuinely, I go into monologues, bursts of it, and then I love hearing what you guys say. So my question is, imagine if you lived with this type of constant things going on, and then this is going on, you'd have to hear me or this type of thing. It wouldn't necessarily be me. It would be your inside head voice being as fast as this, along with the world and all those bright lights. When you're autistic, you're hypersensitive to all of that. And in my case, I also have ADHD, so that's why all of this is going so crazy. So my case is also different. And then people look at me and they're like, "You're high functioning. You should be fine." I'm like, I can hear termites when they're eating at the wood. I can tell you when somebody is almost here because I hear a car that is way down the street. I can see a light when it's where literally anybody plays music. It drives me crazy if it's too loud. And then it's annoying and because, oh, you look fine. So tell me, what would it feel like for you from what I said? I just did 10 minutes of me just going crazy. So I need a moment to stop for a second. You guys say something in the chat so I have something to respond to. I'm just gonna bring my cat over near me because she's here. I'll just turn this down a little bit. And it's your turn, guys. Yeah. Don't judge me about the time. I know it's early, but I'm not going anywhere and I don't have to drive, so. Oh, yeah, May. It's spelled with an E at the end, by the way, Lou. Ow. You know, it's not like this is my first drink. And yet, this always happens. Okay, let's see. Snowy, well, I think it's fair to say 24 hours of anything in your ears all the time would drive anyone crazy. It is fair to say that, but the thing is that people don't understand that when you're autistic, it's basically like that. It's like you're constantly having that stress test type of thing. Remember, though, every case of autism is different. So I'm explaining it from my point, but there is a general consensus of like that it's a 24-hour thing of, you know how they do like in torturing, they'll have like a sound that keeps going and going and going. It's basically like that. And for some people, some autistic people, it's like that 24/7. I'm high functioning, which means sometimes I can get a break from it, but it'll go back and then I will go back and shut down and I can go back into screaming. Or to keep myself from screaming, I'm sitting there like doing this and it'll look like I'm being a child. And it'll be like, why the fuck, you were fine 10 seconds ago. Okay, next one. Literally, of all the voices to be stuck in my head for 24 hours, I think it would be interesting to have yours for a day, though. Yeah, I was about to say, like, it would be cool just like for one time, but not all the time. Snowy, 2 prison guards got in a lot of trouble for playing Baby Shark nonstop prisoners. At least you don't have to hear that. Yeah, I'm glad that that's not it. That's what I convinced. That's actually a good point. This is why I like the interaction because I can sort of realize things and it's like, well, at least I can kind of change the channel on my own instead of it being that one thing. But this took a long time for me to get to this place, by the way. I did not start out this way. When I was younger growing up and people didn't understand it, people didn't listen, it was hell. And it hurt me a lot and I ended up having trouble. And by the way, it's not I don't only have ADHD and I'm not only autistic. And I always say I'm autistic because I don't know, to me it's like I don't have autism. I am autistic. I also have a mood disorder, also have anxiety and personality issues. Like there's a ton of that. But I don't usually go into that unless people ask. Okay, Lou says, a lifetime of that headspace sounds like something one has to tame at some point in their life. The thing is that it's a lot of a balance because you have to tame it. But the thing is, people often force upon autistic people the way they think they should tame it. When really we're sitting here like, if you just didn't play the music that loud, then I'd be able to handle my internal thoughts. Because no, nobody's going to give you a break in life, but it's like you can't expect someone with a broken arm to be able to climb a tree with that broken arm. You just can't. Like, it's not like this is something about me that I can, develop and grow from. I can do that with a lot of things with my personality. I can. But when it comes, and that's why I like to speak to people and learn from you guys and talk about this because it can teach me things and I can separate what is my autism that I can't change and what is the things that I can change to help me in life. But there are certain things that just will not change. Lily, oh, forcing it on them is dangerous. Yes, it is. It's good to. That's why therapy works because it's very individualized. But when you're autistic, people are just like, oh my God, that screaming is so annoying. Can we just shut them up? And because it's a minority type thing, they will often give autistic people drugs that are really heavy just to shut them up. And it's like, you know what? Imagine what it would be like. You see that feeling of hearing that screaming all the time, and then you just want to break from it. It's the same, except it's 10 times worse. And that's why we're screaming. And I want to learn because I'm high functioning and I want to become a doctor. I need to be able to learn how to separate the two because otherwise I'm not going to get what I want. And it's not because I care about like what people think. It's about because I'm not going to get what I want. Seems cold, but it's like, nobody cut me any slack even though it was stuff I couldn't change. So what the fuck am I supposed to do? Snowy. Yeah, that's what they did with ADHD kids. They basically gave them bottled lobotomies. Yeah. I have ADHD and I take medication, but I was very specific about how I wanted to take it and when I want to take it. There is no one size fits all. And with mental disorders, people have a tendency of trying to force that concept of one size fits all. And it's like, no. I'm sure you'd like it to be that way, but not everybody responds to Ritalin or Adderall the same way. I don't like Adderall. It doesn't respond well with me, but Concerta responds well with me. So I'm going to do Concerta. But a lot of people in America are given Adderall, which is interesting because in Saudi, they gave Concerta a lot more. And you also have to work hard to find good doctors that actually listen to patients. You have to find a balance of, yes, doctor knows more, but patient knows themselves more. You have to have that, like, put aside your fucking pride because it's not going to be the same. Also, I just took one of my meds and it causes some muscle twitches in my mouth sometimes. So if I do that, that's why. You have to sort of sacrifice some things. It's like side effects versus hell in my head. Okay, next thing. Let's see, where was I? Yeah, Lou said those those kinds of mentalities lead to terrible psychological surgeries and faulty treatment methods. Exactly. Conversion therapy, actual lobotomies. Those ideas of this is wrong, kind of like when they were like homosexuality is a disease. Let's change that. That's like how autism speaks. By the way, do not support them. They're garbage. Absolute garbage. Garbage. Absolute garbage. They want to find a cure to autism. Thank you very much. I'm good. I don't want one. The next comment was Snowy. Yeah, it turned them into drooling zombies, like a literal drooler in several cases. Exactly, because people don't want to deal with them. Literally, that's what leads to lobotomies or insulin therapy. Please clarify what you mean with the insulin therapy. I'm not sure if that was a thing that they used to do, especially in ADHD cases. And ADHD cases causes, in a lot of cases, the condition is seen in cases where ADHD isn't actually there and they're just kids. Yeah, because people also like parents don't know, and I don't blame them for that, but you just have to be careful because medication at very young ages changes things, and you have to watch your children and make sure to understand kids aren't idiots. Ask them, talk to them. But also, I'm not a child psychologist, and everything that I say about these things, as a disclaimer, this is all just me talking about me. This is my specific case, but at least it'll give you an idea because I am an autistic person who has the ability to speak most of the time, sometimes. If I give myself time alone where I go nonverbal purposefully, because it's the only way I can cope, and I go back and do stuff like this, like you can see, I'm coming down from this, and this is going to be a shorter live because I just had a lot to say and I wanted to say it fast before I forgot. So this is just how things are going, and I just want to be like, if I can give you at least a glimpse into what it is potentially like, then maybe you'll get the idea. Not you guys. When I say you, I think of like society. Maybe you'll get the idea that I didn't choose this. I didn't choose to just be like, it's not like the cases of where I've talked about like other people, like being an adult and being like you're not trying to change yourself. There are some times it's like I am doing everything I can, but this is literally how my brain is structured. Things like my bipolar, my other stuff, yes, it is my responsibility to manage them. My autism, it is my responsibility to do that too. And I do it by, I'm going to explain this to you, but I got a broken arm. Don't expect me to climb a tree because it's just not going to happen. Just like if I'm autistic, don't expect me to be able to go to a rave without a lot of earplugs. Like I need to have something to help me to be able to do that. But if you take away any type of coping mechanism and force me to do it the way other people do it because you're like, oh, you need to just get used to it, don't be surprised if I have a breakdown. That's what I think about it. I'm gonna go back to the comments. Wait, Snowy at Lily. Yeah, there are cases where it's just bad parenting, where the parents don't want to deal with the child. That's exactly what it is, and especially with autistic children, it's a big problem. That's why they'll just institutionalize them. And I do see the other side where it is very difficult. And that's why there needs to be more research. There needs to be more people and that's why I want to try to be like, look, if you guys can't handle this because you can't understand it, then do research. Do stuff to try to understand it. Stop doing things like ABA therapy. Stop doing things to try to change them because obviously it hasn't helped. Just like conversion aversion therapy didn't help with homosexuality. No. What helps is helping them become more comfortable with themselves. So then and you realizing that you're an asshole, like you get it. I'm not going to approach this subject because it's a very much different, but I just wanted to say like that type of therapy as an example. So let me see the next thing. Yeah, when you're just floating around before being told you the mouth thing. Yeah, when you're just floating around before being a fetus, of course people choose to live with disabilities. I know. It's like, and when I was a zygote, I wasn't even a fetus yet. Before even being an embryo, I was a zygote. I was just like, you know what? This sounds cool. This is what I'm going to do. But you know what? I came out this way and I don't really hate it because it's literally just being different. and I can't change it. So why should I view it as a bad thing? Because to me, what hurts me is when people are like trying to force me to do it their way, specifically with the autistic things. When it comes to things like mental disorders, this is more neurological mental disorders. So it's a catch 22 because you do need to balance it. But what I have a problem with is that people aren't learning, they're not trying more to change the type of therapies, change the way to do it. Like, if this isn't working, we need to find a middle ground. There needs to be a middle ground made. Otherwise, it's just going to make people be annoyed with autistic people and autistic people going through hell. But that doesn't mean they're going to stop having autistic people. Like, what do we want to do? Eugenics? Is this like Auschwitz? Do we just want to kill off all the autistic people? Are you trying to like just say, oh, let's just hope if we just torture them all eventually? Yeah, like what do they expect for people who are high functioning? Are just gonna like go back towards when it was gonna take a minute? Go back to the time when they'd just be like, you know what, this one isn't good enough. Let's just make them not be able to reproduce, and let's take Mother Nature into our own hands. Doesn't work that way. No. Okay, gonna read this. Lou. Maybe I subconsciously thought of fetus because of the earrings. Oh, they're little. I think Snowy said they look like alien babies or alien something. But yeah, maybe you did. But it was a pretty good point because when it comes to autism, it actually does happen. Surprise, surprise. Like, they don't know the cause of it, but the most likely cause is that it's related to what's it called? It's related to, oh my god, what am I, it happens during conception. If I'm saying that right. When it's mouth, please agree with me. When you're being conceived, they haven't that is the only thing they've been able to figure out. And now they're like trying to find the gene or the things that cause autism, and they're like, you know what? Let's just try to cure this. What if you first just try to figure out what, like, okay, yes, it's hell for a lot of them. And it's like, I don't know. I'm just going to say that I don't know all of the ways to fix everything for autistic people. I don't know. But what I know is that right now, a cure isn't going to help. Not forcing us to do this, to do it your way, is what could probably help more. Lou, or Lou, when they're in the belly, you mean like the it autism is starts when they're being conceived? I'm confused. I'm not sure I understand what you're saying. Also, I'm gonna want you guys' help with the tags because I think maybe I'm getting better with the tags, which gets more people. And I'd like people to be able to hear this because if I can speak, even if it's just for like I can speak for an hour and ramble and people can see that this is what it's like, yeah, I'm gonna let me use the system because the system likes to fuck us over. So it, like they say, like YouTubers have to be slightly narcissistic. Okay, yeah, let's acknowledge that. Let's also acknowledge the fact that we obviously have to use things because the algorithm is fucked, and right now it's even more fucked. So we have to go to a bit more of extreme levels. Again, going from A to B to G to, yeah. So yeah, Luke, could you clarify what you mean, and then I'll answer that question. While I just tone myself down, take a couple minutes. Also, let's just stare at May. Isn't she adorable? Maybe I'll just do this. Yeah, that's better. Is this good? It's hard to see, so I'll have to lean forward. But yeah, you get to see May. Also, autistic people need to have more animals. Seriously, I think that's one thing that'll help them a lot. Okay, good. I'll just have this angle. Thanks, Snubby. Garbage trucks. I love how they just decide to do it as soon as I turn on the live. I thought they were done earlier. Of course, now that you're on camera, goodbye. Okay. If you're still there, Lou, okay, you said when you were talking about the preborn development impact. Yes, they don't know the exact cause of what makes it happen, but they've been able to just say that the most likely thing is that it occurs while the embryo like is being formed, while the sperm is coming into the egg, and while during that, if you remember, I don't know how old you guys are, but like I really hope that you know are past high school, or at least like old enough. During the time when the chromosomes, they're exchanging the genetic material, that's why you get some traits from your mom, some traits from your dad. Something happens in there. That's when you get genetic defects. Now, defects are basically just differences, and the defects can be bad. But in terms of nature, it just means like, oh shit, this is what happened. And if it's bad, it'll just get weeded out. But people are, once it became intelligent beings, then that changed. And okay, let me go back to the point. Yes, that's their theory, is that it happens during that time when the genetic material, it's like something goes wrong, but they haven't tracked down exactly what gene, which is why they're not entirely sure. But they have noticed, just basically all they have so far is we've just noticed this particular pattern. So that's why they call it, like you said, the preborn developmental impact. That's why it's called a neurodevelopmental disorder. It's because it affects the development. So it affects the development of a human being. As much as you're developed while you're in the belly as a fetus, you're basically, once you're born, you just start over as a fetus and just have to go through it again. It's just you've now formed the body part, and now you're a mind fetus, and you have to form the rest of your brain. Wow, that seemed deep. So in the beginning, you're a body fetus, and then you're a mind fetus. Yeah, I guess it does make sense. I told you, I just say random shit, and sometimes it makes sense, sometimes it doesn't. Give me a sec. I need to open the door for May. She's standing there waiting very patiently. Let me see. Can you guys see her? Yeah, that totally. As you just ignore the fan. She's waiting so patiently. Like, could you please open the door? Oh, new person. Hi. Pick surprise. Okay, I'm gonna open the door for my cat. Opinions on Britain or British people? I'm confused. In relation to this topic, or are you just asking me what I think of British people in general? I like British people. Nothing against them. Went to London. It was really fun. And you are welcome here. I actually like to learn about all different cultures. The topic that I've been talking about is autism, because I'm autistic, so welcome. I am autistic and really screwed up in the head. And basically, I'm here to talk about that and ramble. And Snowy and Lou, they have been here. They're like, they know this. If you guys want to give a rundown of that. But there is essentially not much of a topic, because if you want to rewatch this, you can see the beginning part. I was talking about autism, my purpose, how I'm planning on starting like a podcast about that stuff. And right now, I'm just looking at the chat. Pick surprise. Oh, okay. What age did you find out, and how did it make you feel when you were diagnosed? Well, it was more of like I sort of started to notice that things were different, and my family started to notice it. My mother knew, like, I basically started to show some of the symptoms around the classic age, but it's very different in females. And that's one of the problems. They need to do more research, because females express autistic traits differently. At the age of 13 is when I was officially diagnosed. By that time, I had kind of figured it out myself, but I wanted the clinical diagnosis because I was like, well, I'm not a doctor and I'm 13. So, yeah. And I just really started to figure out something's different. Things aren't adding up. And that's it made me feel good actually. I really liked knowing because I'd figured it out and I was like, now I know what this is. Now I have an idea and I can do something from here. It's like I can move forward with this. So it helped me a lot, but it was a long process. I'm 21 now, and it was a long process to learn about just growing up and how life is going to affect me. Also, since you just showed up here, please join, please subscribe. I am very rambling, but I love to respond to subscribers and talk to you guys, and I really just like to engage, but I'm also all over the place, so that's something to expect. Any more questions? Because I feel like answering questions right now. We're kind of at the point at the end of videos. I usually do Q&A type stuff. Pick surprise. That's good to hear. It's good you have a positive outlook on it. And yeah, don't worry, I subscribed. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you. And I have a positive outlook on. I sort of had to develop a positive outlook because I was like, look, either like this is shit no matter what. So like either you're okay with it or not. And in regards to my autism, it's just a part of me. I don't view it as like it's something that I cannot change. Like for example, I can work forward because I have other disorders. I also have ADHD and stuff, and I can work forward with that type of stuff. But with autism, it's like I can learn a lot, but right now people are just trying to force me to be like them, and it's not gonna work. So I'm just gonna show you like it's take it or leave it. But when it comes to my other things, it's like it's my responsibility to do that. But I was saying earlier an example of if somebody has a broken arm, you can't expect them to climb a tree. And for me, it's like, and you can't blame them for having a broken arm. They didn't mean to have a broken arm. Oh, got to go. Good to talk. Thank you for subscribing. I'm glad. Come back later. I usually just to let you know, I can't use a community tab because I don't have 1,000 subscribers. It's stupid. So I usually update people in the comments. Wait, do you do Discord Predator stuff? I'm subbing to. I'm guess. Oh, that was at Pick Surprise. Wait, if you somebody's doing Predator stuff. What? Oh, are you clarifying? I'm so confused. I'm so confused. But oh, busting predators. Okay, thank you for clarifying because I was like, Snowy, you're a mod. Should I be worried? Oh, you make videos too? Thank you so much because I make videos on mental health stuff, and part of what I want to go into is about predators. Now, it pisses me off. And I made a video about Eugenia Cooney and about like that whole shit. It was alive and you can watch it. And I went in on it because I don't care. Like, I'm a take it or leave it person. I'm going to be a piece of shit sometimes and I'll try to learn, but that's it. But I appreciate it. I'll check you out. Like, I'll sub to you too. If, like, I'm very careful, but if you're busting like predators and stuff, I really respect you for that. And if not, I don't, but I just don't know you yet. But you seem really cool so far. But if you gotta go, thank you for joining me. And you'll see my brain is all over the place. I'm gonna tone it down for a second. And in the chat, feel free to tell me any more questions because I'm planning to end this in like a few minutes because I'm like, spoons are going. Oh, pick surprise. Yeah, it's a bad thing. If you're into documentaries, you'll like them. Thanks for maybe checking them out later. And haha, yeah, have a good day. I love documentaries, so I'll definitely check it out. And you have a good day too. I really appreciate all you guys for joining me. Okay, yeah, um, I'm losing my spoons, which and the energy tokens. So unless if there's any more like pertinent questions, let me know. Oh, and for the podcast idea, I had a really cool idea for the name because I have a book that I've written, which isn't out yet because it's a long process. And then I finished it when I graduated high school. But after that, it was just the whole mess of getting used to college and and now university. So I haven't been able to really finish it. So I was like, I need to wait to publish it. But it's called Kaleidoscope Mind. So I was thinking the podcast would be called Kaleidoscope Mind, what autism is really like. But I'm not sure what to do. I want the kaleidoscope mind, but if you guys have any ideas, anybody who watches this to the end, thank you. If like when I put this back up, and thank you, Snowy, for sticking around because I see there's two, so I'm guessing you're the last person here. If you guys come up with any cool things that'll like help with the rhyme, because you need a catchy thing to get people's interest, then that would be great. Um, so I think I'm gonna sign off now because I've got a lot to do later and I need to build up more spoons. But thank you for joining me, especially this was like an impromptu live. Much appreciated, and hope you all have a good day. So, bye. Oh, Lou, you're still here. Okay. Bye to Snowy and Lou and anyone else that's watching if there's different people because it doesn't tell me who it is. Oh, wow. Pick has like 200K subs. Damn. Can I ask for a shout out? Like, that would be great. No, it seems so self-serving. But anyways, I just didn't know that, but that's really cool. So I'm gonna definitely check her out. Him, her. Again, used to her. But you have a great night too. And Dr. Oh, hey, it looks like he has a Discord server. You could join him and link your YouTube in it. I don't know what that means or how it'll be. My brain is literally shutting down right now. So next time let's talk about all that because you guys help me so much with the techie stuff. Anyways, talk to you guys later. Bye.